20 years, 4 months, and 12 days before being stabbed while acting on the set of a vampire movie, Terrence, 23, sat on the floor of their new apartment, highlighting casting notices in the latest copy of Dramalog magazine. These casting notices were like little classified ads, little help wanted ads, if you will, that had been placed by movie producers who were looking for actors to star in their projects. Hi, I'm Neil A. Yeager, and today I'm reading from my novel, Non-Hollywood. Make sure you check this video's description for more info on me and my books and other creative projects. This is Chapter 14, Professional Headshots. Terrence and Melanie had finally managed to land an apartment after about a month of trying. They had quickly learned to avoid mentioning the whole acting thing when applying for apartments. For some reason, the apartment manager's moods would change when that word was mentioned. And they were shocked that a few of the places actually charged an application fee, which was something that they'd never heard of. And when they were finally approved for this place, the deposit had been hefty and had taken a bigger chunk out of their savings, Melanie's savings, than they had planned for. But finally, they had an apartment. Not a great one, mind you, and at about half again as much as they had budgeted before leaving Indiana. Terrence had learned from his acting books that before he started submitting himself for roles, he would first need to have a professional headshot, a high-quality photo that would show casting agents and directors what he looked like before they met him. He had done a few local commercials in Indy and had gotten that role in the film without a headshot, but this was Hollywood, and this was different. Of course, he wasn't worried about this part of the process, as people had been commenting on his looks since he was 5 years old. So, a few days previously, they had gone to the photographer's studio in West Hollywood, and Terrence had spent a few hours getting his photos taken. The proofs hadn't come back yet, but again, he wasn't worried. What he hadn't counted on was just how expensive a photo session would be. He had been tempted to just let Melanie take his photo and go from there, but all of the acting books had advised against this. So they had the pro photos done, and Melanie had paid for them. She was also going to pay for the photo duplication, another unexpected expense, and a big one at that. And he supposed if you got right down to it, it would be Melanie's stamps and envelopes that would send out the submissions. This fame thing, it was looking to be expensive. The next complication for Terrence was the resume. The complication being that he didn't really have one. He had this small part in a movie which wasn't out yet. In addition, he had a few local commercials in Indianapolis, which unfortunately he had no video copies of, but that was it. He had not been a theater major, nor in the drama club in high school, so he couldn't claim to have played the lead in Our Town. Truth be told, he really didn't care that he didn't have those types of credits. He had no real interest in theater. He wanted to be a movie star. The hell did that have to do with theater? But not having copies of the commercials he had done, and especially not having a copy of his few lines from this movie, that was a bad thing there. He could have included a VHS with his submissions if he had copies. Since he wanted to act on camera, a copy of him acting on camera would seem to be something that would help. But he had nothing. And he had nothing that he could really put on a resume either. So, like many actors before him, and many more to come, he did the only logical thing. He made some stuff up. Looked good to him.